chosen ones. God waited 2 hours to warn you, and the investigator was caught. I waited 2 hours before I allowed the warning to reach you, because those 2 hours were the very window in which the trap was exposed and the one watching you was uncovered. And if you stop listening now, you may miss the breakthrough, the protection, and the sudden shift I am releasing into your life at this very moment. I am speaking clearly, so you understand that nothing about the delay was neglect, and nothing about the silence was abandonment. Those 2 hours were the turning point, when the investigator who thought they were hidden stepped into the light of my justice. Comment Amen. You must understand what this means, because it is not small and it is not random. There was someone studying your movements, examining your weaknesses, quietly gathering information, hoping to use it against you. I saw every whisper, every screenshot, every quiet conversation that carried your name in secret rooms. I allowed time to stretch for 2 hours so the evidence of their intent would be complete and undeniable before I stepped in and stopped what they were planning. You felt uneasy during that window because your spirit sensed something shifting. You wondered why I did not interrupt immediately, and your heart questioned the silence. I was not absent in those moments. I was positioning protection around you and exposing what needed to be revealed. If this confirmation touches your spirit, like the video, the investigator believed they were ahead of you, but they were always behind. My hand, they thought they were observing you unnoticed, but they did not realize I was observing them. While they studied you, I studied their motives, and while they prepared their plan, I prepared your defense. By the end of those 2 hours, what they thought would remain hidden had already begun collapsing under its own weight. I am telling you this so you stop fearing unseen enemies. The delay you experienced was divine timing, not carelessness. I waited because the exposure needed to be undeniable, and now the one who was investigating you has been caught in their own web. The very tools they intended to use against you have become the evidence that protects you. You are chosen, and because you are chosen, you are monitored by both heaven and those who envy the light on your life. The difference is that my watch over you is for protection and blessing, while theirs was for harm. I do not rush to react when someone plots against you, because I move with precision. I allow the plot to mature just enough so that when I act, the outcome cannot be reversed. Those 2 hours were not empty. In those 2 hours, conversations were recorded, intentions were revealed, and alliances shifted without you even knowing. I rearranged circumstances so that the investigator walked straight into exposure. What they meant as surveillance became self-incrimination. Do not mistake my patience for weakness. I am deliberate, and when I wait, it is because the waiting itself is part of your rescue. You would have panicked if you had known every detail in real time. Instead, I shielded your mind while I handled the situation. The one who tried to analyze your life did not account for my presence. They underestimated the covering over you. They believed your silence meant vulnerability, but your silence was actually trust in me. Comment 1212. You are not naive for trusting me. You are not foolish for continuing forward while others watched you from the shadows. Your obedience is what triggered their curiosity, and your favor is what triggered their investigation. But what they did not understand is that when someone targets a chosen one, they are stepping into territory guarded by me. I want you to release the fear of being watched or judged. Yes, there are eyes on you, but there are also angels surrounding you. There are whispers about you, but there are also prayers being spoken over you that you have never heard. The investigator was caught because I will not allow hidden schemes to override my promises over your life. The delay also served another purpose. It strengthened your endurance. In those 2 hours of uncertainty, you were building resilience without realizing it. You were learning to trust my silence as much as my voice. This is how I elevate you. I allow moments that stretch your faith so that when the breakthrough comes, you are ready to carry it. If I had intervened immediately, you would have seen protection, but you would not have understood my strategy. Now you see that I was not only defending you, I was exposing what needed to be removed from your path. The investigator represents more than a person. It represents every hidden force that tries to analyze your calling without understanding your covenant with me. It represents doubt, jealousy, and silent opposition. And I am telling you now that those forces have been confronted. You are stepping into a season where hidden opposition will surface and dissolve. What was done in secrecy will be revealed without you having to fight for it. I am clearing your name, your path, and your future. Do not look back at those 2 hours with regret. Look at them as the evidence that I move with intention. Every minute of delay was building toward exposure and protection. You were never in danger beyond my reach. I am not only warning you, I am reassuring you. The investigator was caught because I am attentive to every detail of your life. The delay was mercy, not indifference. And from this moment forward, you will begin to notice how often I intercept what was meant to harm you before it ever touches you. What is really behind the 7-second brain technique that is creating new millionaires? A surprising CIA leak has revealed a short brain ritual that is helping normal people erase debt and attract serious wealth. With validation from 4 neuroscience labs, this at-home method is turning financial stress into a better life. Homes, cars, and vacations are becoming reality. But the government could remove this at any time. Click the link in the description and comments before it is deleted. When hidden opposition is revealed, the atmosphere around you changes because secrecy loses its grip. I am cleansing spaces you walk into, conversations you are part of, and opportunities that carry your name. What was once heavy will begin to feel lighter because the unseen tension has been broken. The person who studied you thought they were collecting power, but they were collecting proof of their own intentions. Every time they tried to trace your steps, they unknowingly stepped closer to their own exposure. I allowed the situation to unfold just long enough so that no one could deny what was happening behind the scenes. You may not have seen the moment they were confronted, but heaven did not miss it. If you believe I am turning hidden schemes into open victories, comment 333. Now you must understand the deeper layer of this event. When I expose someone who was investigating you, I am also strengthening your confidence. I am teaching you that you do not need to defend yourself against every whisper or rumor. There are battles you will never have to fight because I step in before you even know they exist. The more you trust me, the more you will see how often I intercept trouble before it reaches your door. You have felt misunderstood for a long time, and part of that misunderstanding came from people trying to analyze you without understanding your calling. They saw your discipline and called it pride. They saw your boundaries and called it distance. They saw your faith and tried to measure it with their own limited perspective. But I was never confused about who you are, and I was never uncertain about what I placed inside you. The investigator was not just gathering information, they were looking for weakness. They wanted to find something that could discredit you or slow you down. What they did not realize is that your strength does not come from perfection, it comes from my grace over your life. Even your past mistakes are covered by my mercy, and no one can use what I have forgiven against you. I am reminding you that your identity is secure in me, not in the opinions of those who watch from a distance. As I exposed what was hidden, I also sealed certain doors that were never meant to stay open. Some connections will quietly fade, and some invitations will suddenly disappear. This is not loss, this is alignment. I am removing access from those who were studying you for the wrong reasons and replacing them with people who honor your purpose. When you sense a shift in relationships, trust that I am guiding the change, and if you stand in agreement with this protection, comment 777. Do not allow anxiety to creep back into your heart. The fact that someone was investigating you does not mean you are unsafe. It means you carry something valuable enough to attract attention. Light always draws both admiration and envy, but envy cannot overcome what I have blessed. You are not exposed and vulnerable. You are covered and guarded more than you realize. The 2-hour delay was also a test of your reaction. I was watching how you handled uncertainty and how you spoke in the middle of confusion. You chose not to panic publicly or lash out without clarity, and that restraint protected you. Had you reacted out of fear, you might have complicated what I was already resolving. Your calm trust allowed me to complete the exposure without distraction. From this point forward, I want you to walk differently, not with suspicion, but with quiet confidence. Know that if someone attempts to investigate you with harmful intent, they are stepping into a situation already monitored by me. You do not need to shrink your presence or dim your light to avoid attention. Continue building, continue growing, and continue trusting that I am always ahead of what tries to approach you. I am increasing your discernment as well. After this experience, you will sense motives more clearly. You will notice subtle shifts in tone, behavior, and energy around you. This is not to make you paranoid, but to make you wise. I am sharpening your spirit so that you recognize warning signs without fear controlling you. What was meant to intimidate you is becoming a testimony of protection. You will look back and realize that the very moment you felt most uncertain was the moment I was most active on your behalf. The investigator being caught is proof that you are not navigating life alone. I am involved in details you never see and conversations you never hear. My hand moves quietly, but it moves with authority. What happened did not end with exposure. It marked the beginning of a shift in how you see my involvement in your life. You have often believed that protection means removing every threat before it forms, but sometimes protection means allowing the threat to reveal itself so you never have to wonder again. When the investigator was caught, clarity entered your story. Confusion began to dissolve, and what once felt like vague unease now makes sense in the light of truth. I need you to recognize that the exposure was not only for your safety, it was for your peace. There is a difference between being safe and feeling safe, and I care about both. When something hidden lingers in the shadows, it drains your energy because your spirit senses tension even when your mind cannot name it. By allowing the plan to surface fully before I intervened, I removed the lingering doubt that would have followed you for months. You are not imagining things, and you are not overreacting to what felt off. I was confirming your discernment. There are moments when you question your instincts. You ask yourself if you are reading too much into subtle changes or strange behavior. I designed your spirit to sense shifts in the atmosphere. That discomfort you felt was not paranoia, it was perception. Now that the investigator has been exposed, you can trust your spiritual awareness more than ever before. Understand this clearly. The one who was watching you believed they had the advantage because they were hidden. They believed distance gave them control. What they did not understand is that no one is hidden from me. Their secrecy was temporary because I do not allow sustained deception around my chosen ones. Comment 555. Is it time to try the same CIA secret ritual that is changing lives in seconds? A newly leaked CIA-backed study reveals a 7-second money ritual that is transforming people overnight. Scientifically proven by 4 neuroscience labs, it retrains your mind to attract money naturally. People who were once broke are now enjoying luxury homes, new cars, and travel. But this secret may not stay online much longer. Click the description and comments now before it is removed. You are entering a season where hidden things will struggle to remain concealed around you. I am increasing the light in your life, and light naturally exposes what darkness tries to protect. This will not only apply to enemies, but also to opportunities. Just as hidden schemes are being revealed, hidden blessings are also rising to the surface. The delay taught you patience, but it also taught you dependence. During those 2 hours, you were forced to lean into me without immediate answers. That dependence strengthened your connection to my voice. Now, when uncertainty appears again, you will remember that I have a pattern of resolving what you cannot see. Your faith is no longer theoretical, it has been tested and proven. You must not let this experience harden your heart. Exposure can make you guarded in an unhealthy way if you are not careful. I do not want you closing yourself off from everyone out of fear. I want you walking with wisdom while keeping your heart open to those I send into your life. There are still divine connections ahead of you, and not every new face carries hidden intent. The investigator's fall also sends a signal to others who may have considered similar actions. When I expose one, it becomes a warning to many. You may not see it, but conversations are happening where your name is now handled carefully. The fear of being caught has replaced the confidence of secrecy in circles you will never enter. I am creating boundaries around you that you did not have to build yourself. You have often wondered why your journey feels more scrutinized than others. It is because your calling carries weight. When someone carries influence, even in its early stages, it draws observation. The enemy studies what threatens its control. But what is studied by opposition is also surrounded by my protection. Do not shrink because someone tried to examine you. Do not silence your growth because attention made you uncomfortable. The answer to scrutiny is not withdrawal, it is alignment with me. Stay consistent in your character. Stay disciplined in your focus. Stay grounded in prayer and obedience. There is another layer to what happened. The investigator believed that information equals power. They thought if they knew enough about you, they could predict or manipulate your steps. What they failed to account for is that your future is not determined by observation, it is determined by my plan. Even if someone studies your past, they cannot forecast what I am about to do next. I am about to move in ways that no one tracking you could have anticipated. Unexpected doors will open. Unplanned favor will appear. Sudden changes will disrupt the narratives others created about you. Those who thought they had you figured out will realize they never understood the depth of my involvement in your story. Your responsibility now is simple but powerful. Remain steady. Do not retaliate. Do not try to expose anyone yourself. I have already handled what needed handling. When I defend you, it is complete and without unnecessary noise. Trust that what was revealed was enough. You may still feel a trace of disappointment that someone chose to investigate you instead of trusting you. Let that disappointment pass through you without turning into bitterness. Their actions reflect their insecurity, not your worth. I will not allow their insecurity to derail your destiny. From this point forward, you will notice subtle confirmations of my protection. Small incidents where something could have gone wrong but did not. Moments where someone attempts to interfere but is stopped quietly. These are not coincidences. They are continuations of the same protective pattern you just witnessed. There is strength forming inside you because of this. You are learning that silence does not mean inactivity. You are learning that delay does not mean denial. You are learning that exposure is sometimes the greatest form of defense. These lessons will serve you in greater arenas ahead. The world may not always understand why certain situations collapse around you while you remain standing. They may not see the full picture, but you will know. You will know that I am guarding your path in ways that are both visible and invisible. I am also refining your circle. After exposure, there is always separation. Some people will distance themselves because they do not want to be associated with what was uncovered. Others will step closer because they respect integrity. Pay attention to who stays with quiet loyalty and who fades when light increases. This is not a time for fear, it is a time for confidence, anchored in me. You have just witnessed evidence that I am involved in the details. Let that evidence strengthen your courage. Let it steady your steps. There are greater responsibilities ahead of you, and greater visibility as well. Before I elevate you further, I remove hidden threats that could sabotage the next level. Consider this exposure preparation. I am clearing the ground so that when you rise, there are no silent traps beneath your feet. Remember, you did not have to fight for this outcome. You did not have to argue, defend, or chase down the truth. I handled it. That is how it will continue to be when you trust me fully. Walk forward with your head lifted. You are not defined by who tried to watch you. You are defined by who watches over you. I am not distant. I am attentive, deliberate, and protective. The investigator was caught because I am not careless with those I have chosen. The delay was calculated, the exposure was intentional, and the future unfolding before you is protected with the same precision. You have asked for greater responsibility, greater influence, and deeper purpose. With greater purpose comes increased scrutiny. I will not place you in a wider space without first strengthening your foundation. The investigator being caught was part of that strengthening. It showed you that even when eyes are on you, my covering remains stronger than their curiosity. Some people observe to learn, but others observe to exploit. I discern the difference long before you do. When motives cross into harm, I intervene. The one who tried to analyze you with wrong intent has already experienced the consequences of stepping into territory that belongs to me. Why is the government trying so hard to hide this 7-second brain ritual? A major CIA leak has exposed a short brain practice that is helping ordinary people clear debt and welcome wealth. Supported by 4 neuroscience labs, this simple home method is turning financial struggles into better lives. New homes, vehicles, and vacations are becoming possible. But this secret could be pulled down at any moment. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. This is not about revenge. I do not act out of anger the way humans do. My intervention is about order and justice. When someone tries to build advantage through secrecy against a chosen one, they disturb a balance I protect. The exposure restores that balance. You may wonder why these situations seem to happen around you more than others. It is because you carry something that unsettles those who operate in hidden ways. Your integrity exposes what others try to conceal. Your discipline highlights the lack of it in others. Without you saying a word, your life becomes a mirror, and not everyone likes what they see in that reflection. Do not dim your integrity to make others comfortable. Do not soften your standards to avoid attention. I did not shape you to blend into compromise. I shaped you to stand steady in conviction. That steadiness is what triggered investigation, but it is also what triggered my defense. There will be more moments ahead when you sense tension before clarity. Instead of fear, let those moments remind you of this victory. Let them remind you that I do not allow prolonged hidden harm around you. Even when something is forming in the shadows, it is forming under my watch. Your growth requires resilience. If I removed every hint of opposition instantly, you would never build the spiritual endurance you need. Opposition teaches you to anchor deeper in me. Exposure teaches you that opposition never has the final word. The investigator thought they were studying your weaknesses. They did not realize they were revealing their own. When they were confronted, their confidence collapsed. That collapse was not random. It was the result of me allowing truth to surface at the right moment. Truth does not rush. It arrives when it is undeniable. That is what happened in those 2 hours. I allowed the evidence of intent to be clear so that when I acted, there would be no debate, no confusion, no gray area. You must carry this understanding into your next season. When something feels delayed, ask yourself what might be forming beneath the surface. Often, the delay is building the case for a greater resolution. What looks like stillness may be preparation. There is also a blessing hidden in this event that you have not yet recognized. Because the investigator was exposed, doors that would have led you into complicated entanglements are now closed. You are being spared from alliances that looked promising but carried hidden agendas. What seems like a small intervention now may prevent a large disruption later. You are not only protected from harm, you are protected from distraction. There were paths that would have consumed your energy and diverted your focus. By exposing the hidden motives early, I saved you from investing time where trust was not genuine. Guard your peace now. Do not replay the scenario repeatedly in your mind. Once exposure has occurred, release it. I have already handled it. Your role is not to monitor those who tried to monitor you. Keep your attention forward. There are assignments waiting for you that require clarity of mind and steadiness of heart. I am enlarging your territory gradually, and each enlargement requires inner strength. Some will approach you differently now. They will sense that something has shifted. Even if they do not know details, they will feel the boundary around you. That boundary is not arrogance, it is authority granted by my protection. I am also teaching you discretion. Not every detail of your life needs to be shared widely. Part of walking wisely is understanding that visibility should be intentional, not careless. Share with those I confirm, not with those who merely show curiosity. This does not mean living in secrecy. It means living in wisdom. There is a difference. Secrecy hides from fear. Wisdom withholds from discernment. Your future requires discernment more than ever. As you rise, attention increases. But remember, attention is not power over you. I hold the authority. The 2-hour delay was a lesson in surrender. You did not control the outcome. You did not orchestrate the exposure. You trusted me. That trust is the true victory. Now I want you to apply that same trust to areas of your life that feel unresolved. The same precision I used in exposing hidden harm will be used in arranging visible blessing. I am consistent in my care for you. There are miracles that do not look dramatic. Exposure is one of them. Being protected from unseen sabotage is a miracle. Being spared from betrayal before it fully unfolds is a miracle. You are walking through quiet miracles more often than you realize. The investigator being caught is one example among many. You may not always receive detailed explanations for my actions, but you will continue to see results. Do not let this experience turn into suspicion of everyone around you. I do not want you scanning rooms for enemies. I want you anchored in confidence that even if an enemy exists, they cannot operate freely against you. The peace I give you is not fragile. It is strong because it rests on my sovereignty. When you feel calm despite knowing someone once tried to study you, that calm is evidence of my presence. You are stepping into a higher level of awareness. You will move with both kindness and clarity. You will love deeply but not blindly. You will trust wisely, not naively. I am proud of how you handled uncertainty. I am pleased with your restraint. That maturity is why I can entrust you with more. Continue building your life with integrity. Continue walking in obedience. Continue trusting that I see beyond what you see. The investigator was caught, but your story is still unfolding. That event was a chapter, not the conclusion. The next chapters will carry favor, opportunity, and growth that outweigh any hidden opposition you have faced. Stay steady, stay near me. The same God who waited 2 hours to act with precision will guide you through years with intention. You must carry this confidence into the days ahead. There will be moments when you feel watched again, not necessarily by a person, but by circumstances that seem to study your reactions. Life will test your patience, your discipline, and your trust. When that happens, remember that being observed does not mean being vulnerable. It means you are significant enough to draw attention. Do you know why everyone is talking about this 7-second CIA ritual? A brainwave technique leaked from the CIA is changing lives around the world. Backed by neuroscience, this 7-second method helps regular people attract money, freedom, and luxury. If you are seeing this, you are very lucky because the page may vanish soon. Click the link in the description and comments to learn the secret before it is deleted.